Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Real Talk with Coach Sherry. And this channel is about workforce development, career readiness, entrepreneurship, and of course, real life, real issues, and real talk. Oh my goodness. Hold on. I'm trying to get my screen bigger. I guess I can't. All right. So everyone, I thank you so much for coming in, spending this Friday night with me here live on YouTube. And we are going to talk business. Let's talk business. But first, I want to say hello to everyone. Hi, Monique. Hi, Soror. So good to see you. Hi, Vern's Junk Closet. Thank you for your support. And I know, let's see. Yes, Sheila's vlog was in the house early. She was one of the first ones in the live. So I appreciate you all for being here and for rocking with me. If you all saw the initial advertisement that I had for the live tonight, I did have a special guest who was going to come. She was so excited, but unfortunately her allergies got the best of her today. So I'm going to have her back on in the near future because what she's doing in her business is so amazing. And I know it's going to inspire you and give you some great ideas of other things that you could possibly do with your business or encourage you to finally start your business. But since she's not here, I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to talk about? I love business. I love entrepreneurship. So I am going to share with you 10 essential tips on starting your own business, especially if it's a home-based business. Let's see. Thank you so much, Vern, for welcoming everyone into the live. I appreciate you. And all right. So before I continue, if you can be sure to thumbs up this live, if you feel that someone else in your circle needs to also hear this information that I'm going to share, be sure to share the live with them or tell them about it so that they can join in as well. There's definitely going to be a replay. So if you miss any piece of it, don't worry, no concerns. You'll be able to go back. I understand Friday nights is busy for many reasons, but I appreciate you for being here, for taking the time out. If you are already part of the team, thank you. I appreciate you. If you're new and you're on the fence, like, you know what, I've been seeing this Coach Sherry around a little bit, I invite you tonight to go and click the bell, subscribe, and hit the bell for notification. I know that some people have, and it's exciting to know that they are being notified when I make a new video or when I go live. Typically, I go live every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have guests that come on and they talk about many different things that's going on in their life, be it business, mental health, education, sports, professional athletes. And I really love the things that they say. I'm very curious. I have a high level of curiosity, so I ask a lot of questions. I've had some great guests on thus far, event planners, like I said, mental health, someone who went from corporate to being an entrepreneur. I had 2 basketball players that play professionally overseas, and they shared their experience, was just so dynamic. So if you haven't seen any of those lives, be sure to check them out. They are on my page, on my channel, and I think you'll get some nuggets. So I encourage you all to have a pen and paper ready to capture the nuggets that I'm going to drop tonight. Like I said, I'm going to have 10 tips for essentials that you would need to start your own business. These are things that have supported me, that have helped me along the way, and I'm sure they're going to help you as well. If you have any questions specifically for me, be sure to leave them in the chat. I see the Positive Pusher just joined and walked into the building. Hi, how are you, Positive Pusher? Thank you for being here. It's great to see you. It's great to have you. And let's see. So the first one, and I really want to talk about this, especially now with C-19 going on. A lot of people are realizing that having multiple streams of income is important. And, when you are home, you're thinking, okay, if I wanted to start a business, I guess I have to start it from home. It's going to be challenging, I think, at this time to start something with a brick and mortar. And I think you should have, just take some time to see where everything is going to fall before you do that. So starting from home is a great way. I do know someone that has an amazing cooking business. She's a chef and she cooks delicious Caribbean food. And she's been doing this for years. She was a single mom and she wanted to be able to have that time with her daughter. Her daughter was really young at the time. When she started, her daughter was in first grade. Her daughter is now a freshman in college, but she wanted to stay home but still needed to make money. So she started to cook. She would cook elaborate meals. She would take pre-orders. She would take reservations. She would set up her dining room like a restaurant. And she would do that. And her food was good. You could do her food to go, or you can eat it there and just enjoy the company of amazing people. And she did that successfully and was able to sustain herself and her daughter, which is a blessing. So that is one thing that you can consider. And I'm mentioning her because I noticed that she's still doing it. She had a post on Facebook about it, and I'm just so proud of her. I'm actually going to reach out to her so that she can come on and share more of how she has gotten started and how her business has evolved. She is an amazing cook. She may be from Jamaica. I can't remember exactly where in the Caribbean she is from, but her food is delicious. So the first thing you want to do when you are considering a business that you want to run from home is do a personality check. And that's actually with any business. You have to make sure that you have a high business IQ and that you have the stamina, that you have the push for yourself to work on your own. There are so many people that do an amazing job working for someone else as an employee, and that is great. But when it comes to doing it for themselves, they have a challenge of getting started, of getting motivated, or of staying motivated. And so you have to really do a deep dive personality check to know that in the beginning you might be by yourself. You may not have any coworkers or employees. And is that something that you need to keep you going, to keep you motivated? Some people work amazing by themselves. They get a lot of things done. They become more creative. And so you have to really determine, is that something that you can do? Not everyone is built to be an entrepreneur, and that is fine. That there's nothing against that, but there is a business for everyone if that is your destination. You also want to think about, as you're working from home, the space. Can you work from home? Will you be effective? Will you be distracted? Some people get very distracted from working from home for an employer, much less themselves. Just like you do the things and set up your day, set up your schedule and set up your calendar for your job, you have to do that for yourself as an entrepreneur as well. And working from home, you really have to have your day mapped out and follow that map and really stick to it. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more as well. I see everyone is speaking in the chat. Thank you, Vern. Yes, the personality check. So that's the first essential tip I have. The second is to be patient. So many people think when they get this great idea that it is going to just blow up and jump off so quickly, and they don't have the patience, because once after a week or a month goes by, and if they're still not where they thought they should be, because people will tell you, oh yeah, you're going to make a killing. That's a great idea. Oh my goodness. People are going to love that. I know so many people that want to do that, that need that. I'm going to bring so many clients to you. You're going to have so much business. And then a month later, when you don't have that business and you're sitting there like, okay, so what's going on? Don't get discouraged. Have patience. So know that you are on the right path. If you put the fillers out and people are saying that what you want to do, there's a need, then trust me, it'll happen. It may not happen with your circle though. So don't get disappointed if it doesn't happen with the people that you know. 9 times out of 10, the people you know will not be your clients. They won't be your customer. All right. Don't get discouraged. Don't let that be any reflection on your relationship. Maintain your relationship. Don't let that get in the way. Know that there's a separation between business, personal, and professional, and it's okay. Not every friend is going to be as supportive as maybe you would be towards them, but don't hold that against them. You cannot control what another person will do, say, or think, or where they will spend their money. So I just want you to know to throw that net out wide so that you can capture the right customer and the right client that is looking for exactly what you have to offer. I see Conversations with Dee is in the building and she's speaking to everyone. Thank you for being here. I just connected with Conversations with Dee and I really like her. She's a small YouTuber as well. And Vern's Junk Closet, if you don't already have her, I highly recommend that you go and check her out. She has partnered with 7 other YouTubers and they have created a networking platform for YouTubers to connect so that they can grow authentically. And I'm trying to tell you, it is called Drop the Link. And that platform, that networking has helped me grow my channel tremendously. So if you're trying to look for people to authentically connect with, I highly recommend that you check them out. They have live every single day of the week at various times. I'm not exactly sure of all the times, but definitely is Drop the Link. Go and check out Vern's Junk Closet, and I'm sure she has information on that. The Positive Pusher, I'm glad that you are here as well. All right, so the second was be patient. The third is investigate. Investigate, that's research. Do your research. Investigate thoroughly. So what you want to do 9 times out of 10 has been done. The will has been invented. It's just a matter of how much better is your will going to be. One way to find out is to do your research, investigate what other people are doing. I know, for instance, when my husband and I were doing a franchise, we contacted the company, of course, and investigated the company, looked at, how well they have done, how well they support their franchisees, where they're located, how long they've been in business, just, everything, their financials, everything. And when we decided that we possibly would go with them, we asked for a list of franchisees, and in particular, franchisees that were young, because at the time we were in our early 30s, and also franchisees that had young families, because we had young children. And we wanted to see if this business, if we would be able to do this type of business with a young family and as novice. We were completely new to that industry. And so they gave us the list. And, if you ask, all you could do is ask, and all they could do is say yes or no. So they said yes. And we took the list, we called, and we went all over the country and went to the projects that these young families were doing and hearing their stories, where they started. Many of them didn't have prior knowledge or experience in it either, and were doing so well. And it just gave us the encouragement to yeah, we can do this. So definitely do your investigation. Even for what I do with apprenticeships and internships, I wasn't familiar with the industry that had contracted me to do the apprenticeship program. So I researched the industry. I called up all around the country from California to New York to see if this type of program was being done in this industry. And if it was, how successful was it? What were some of the pros and cons, things like that. And that gave me the courage, or it gave me that boost, so that when I talked to leadership, I was like, this is being done. It may not be done now right here, but it can be, because it's being done in California, St. Louis, New York, Maryland, DC. It's being done successfully. So it's just a matter of getting started. So when you know that what you want to do is already being done, find a mentor. When you're talking to someone about it, definitely see if they will be that person that you can shoot ideas to, that you can make sure that you stay on the right track. And, 9 times out of 10, the people the fact that they picked up your call will also continue to stay connected to you. And it's not going to be a tit for tat. So if they don't call you back, don't hold that against them, because they're busy. You call them back, you stay on it. And when they see that you are really trying and are seeking information, they will be so much more readily available to you and willing to share with you information. Real people doing real things in business, they understand that there's room at the table for everybody. If they're holding the information close to their chest, 9 times out of 10, they may not be doing it right. Something is wrong, and you don't want to deal with them because they may not have integrity. Okay, so number 3, and thank you, Vern. I see you put in the third is to investigate. Absolutely. Hi, Edward Smart. How are you? And in Rachel's place, it's great to have you all here in the chat and this live. I appreciate you so much. The 4th is a plan. You have to have a plan and stick to it. Let the plan be your map, your roadmap of where you want to go with your short-term goals. Your short-term goals should be 6 months out, 1 year out. Your long-term goals are 3 years out, 5 years out. But when you are starting your business, what do you expect from that business in the next 6 months? What do you need to do in the next 6 months? When I develop apprenticeship programs for particular positions, I go to the subject matter experts, the SMEs in that role, and I ask them, in 6 months' time, what should a person learn in 6 months? What should they be competent in 1 year? So you need to ask yourself in your business, in 6 months, where should your business be? And let those be those short-term goals and part of your plan that you have set. All right. Sometimes people sit at the drawing table and they don't know where to start. They're like, oh my goodness, I know I need to write something down. So ask yourself, when you investigate, ask the people that you are talking to when you're doing, I call them exploration interviews. When you're talking with them, ask, what should I be doing for the first 6 months? Because what happens if you don't make a plan, you end up spending too much money. You waste money. You end up purchasing things that you didn't even need yet. You purchase things you never needed. And so you want to make sure that your plan is financially stable as well. Okay, so the 4th one is plan. Okay, I see Vern is welcoming everyone. I love this, Vern. Thank you. Thank you so much for writing this out. Okay, the 5th step is keep your family and friends out of it. Keep family and friends out of it. Now, I know I said that, your circle may not be the ones that support your business, but your circle may not be the people you need to go into business with as well. So I remember years ago, someone had told me, Sherry, everyone can't ride your bus. They're not all going to your same stop. What's for you is for you. And I know it's so much more comforting to know that you have people that love you and that you love in your corner, and you want everybody to win. That's just a thing. You do. You want everyone to win, but everyone can't necessarily win doing the same thing. You can still be supportive of each other with resources and information when they find their thing and while you're doing your thing. Don't always try to bring people along. And, initially they may say, yeah, that's great, I want to do that with you. But if it's not really in them, if it's not really for them, that fire will sizzle out so quickly for them. And you don't want to get frustrated because you're doing so much, and you look over and you're like, wow, you're just along for the ride. So to eliminate that frustration, don't start none, won't be none. So be leery. Do not bring along your family and friends. Now, for myself and my husband, it was a little different. First of all, we were married. We were a partnership anyway. And we always discussed things all the time. And whatever we each did was going to affect the other. And of course, we also had our own things, but major things, we didn't have a problem doing them together. We actually balanced each other out well. And with friends, oftentimes they're your friends because they're just like you. And when you are looking for a business partner, I highly recommend that you pick someone that is kind of the opposite of you. So if you are more energetic, outgoing, friendly, out there, the face of things, you need someone that's going to be behind the scenes, that's making sure the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. You really want to find that partner that's going to complement you. Oh, I see Silas Mukbang is in the building also. Silas, how are you? Thank you for coming. Hey, how are you? Mike 2.0 is in the building. Oh, I appreciate you. I always see Mike in my comments. He doesn't say much, but I know that he's there, and I appreciate that. I really love when people comment on the videos. It's like an extension of the conversation. So I really appreciate that. Absolutely. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. And so Conversations with D is saying, yes, you can't mix business with pleasure. Yes, it is really, really challenging. I know even from growing up, seeing how, and that's where I know that from, where, your circle may not support your business, because oftentimes my parents' circle didn't always support their business, but they had such an amazing client base until it didn't even matter. But some people say, are you mad at that? You don't get mad, but you're a little disappointed, because you would hope that the people that you care about most would also want you to succeed in every aspect of your life. But that is not always the case. So I'm here to let you know, don't get disappointed. Well, don't get mad. You may get a little disappointed, but don't get mad. Don't have that expectation. All right. So number 6 is keep a running checklist. So when you are running a business from home, those to-do lists, and everyone claims they have one. Typically, your to-do list is in your head. You really have to have a checklist. You need to write it out. I know a lot of people are doing things with technology and they keep everything on their phone. And that's fine if that's what you really are into and you're really, really good with it and you've never had an issue or a challenge with it. But I highly recommend that you get a paper planner. And I know, Vern, you were in one of my lives in the past, and we talked about how we really like paper planners still. A paper planner is great. You can really quickly reference back to a date. It's good to use for your accounting purposes. In your checklist, you might also put down things and how much they cost. Because when you have your home-based business, you really want to make sure that you have a strong paper trail in case you are ever audited. You want to also keep those documents for 3 to 5 years in case you're audited in the future, because the IRS doesn't necessarily just audit you year to year. It could be 3 years from now, 5 years from now. And what if you get a new phone? What if you change carriers? What if you lose your phone? Anything could happen to that technology. So you want to make sure you have that paper trail. And it's really simple. Get a planner, a yearly planner. And each day, on a yearly planner, it has every single day of the year. And every day that you're doing something, write it down. Write it down before that day, though. You can add to it on that day, but when the day starts, you should already have your checklist ready and written, and you should know what you're going to do. Put a little box. If you don't have a planner that have boxes where you write what you're going to do, put little boxes next to it and check them off as you do them. Keep track of your mileage, keep track of how much you're paying for gas, keep your receipts. A lot of planners have little pockets on the inside so you can capture your receipts there. And trust me, whether you're doing your own taxes or your accountant is, at the end of the year, whoever's doing it will be very pleased that you have all those documents and all those papers. All right. Yes. Thank you, Vern. I love it. Number 7 is remember to punch out. That is the thing. When you are working from home, it is often challenging to stop because you can always go back to it whenever. If you have problems sleeping at night, people will go and just say, well, I'm just going to work a little bit. I have all these thoughts. No, have a stop point, have a start time and an end time. I didn't have that before. But now, since I was working outside of the home and then I came back into the home, I find that in order to have work-life balance, I have to have a start and an end time, and I stick to it. And I'm so glad that my office is so far away from everything. I don't have to walk past it. Once I leave it, I'm not walking past it. I don't have to look into it, nothing. So if you can have your office like that, even if it just means closing the door so you don't even have to glance in there. I working from home has been kind of an up and down thing for me. Back in the day, I didn't necessarily prefer it because I was easily distracted. And I remember at one point I had an office, and I think that's part of it. Yeah, I had an office at one of those. Well, we had an office outside of the home before, but then when I was just doing like my coaching business, I got one of those shared spaces type of offices, and I loved it. It was so eclectic. It was so many different types of businesses in there. But once again, I was distracted. I would stop and get my Starbucks, and it was just a lot of things to it. But then, working in another type of office away from home, I found that, when I had a time frame, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be there from this time to that time. I was much more productive. But I stayed late, but not too late because I didn't want to be the last one. So I left my work. So when C-19 happened and I'm back at home, I'm like, all right, how's this going to work? But like I said, my office is so far removed from everything. I don't have to, when I put it down, I'm down. Don't go to sleep with your laptop in your bedroom. The glow, even if it's closed, there's going to be some type of glow every now and again that is subconsciously going to affect your sleep patterns. Don't have your phone in your bedroom when you sleep. I know one of my friends that used to work for Nokia years ago. She always said she never slept with her phone in her room. She kept it on the outside of her bedroom. And that was because of the waves that the phones give off that are not really good for us. And only the future will tell what that's going to look like. But thank you, Positive Pusher. She's saying this is great advice. Thank you. Monique Scott is so true. Start time and stop time. Yes. And Monique and I, we talk offline. She's actually a personal friend of mine, and I'll speak to her late at night and she's still working, crunching numbers and things. So yes, and adhere to it. You deserve it when your family deserves it. Back in the day, before, just back a long time ago when I was a shark. And I know Monique is probably kind of chuckling to herself because she's like, I can't imagine that. Yes, I was a shark. Whenever you're doing anything that's with a lot of money, especially with real estate, we're doing real estate development and dealing with lawyers and contractors and timelines and home buyers and all kinds of things. You don't always end up being too nice. But I didn't know how to turn things off. It was really, really challenging for me. And that wasn't fair to myself or my family, my husband or my kids. So knowing that start and stop time is going to give you a better quality of life. Okay, let's see. Number 8, be mindful and stay present. So if you do have that stop time, and I see people do this a lot, and I don't know what it's going to look like now with COVID, well, with C-19, I'm sorry. But people would pretend like they were stopping their work. So for instance, if their child had a game or practice or something like that, they would go to the game, but they would still work. So they would still have their phone, they would still do transactions, or they would stay in their car with their laptop open right until tip off, or they would stay in their car during the whole entire practice and, do work. That's not stopping, and that's not being present. Being present means you are getting ready to do something else, something different, even if it's lunch with a friend, if it's lunch with a coworker, if it's going to pick up your child or go to their practice, go to their games, if it's going to the mall to meet your friends, if it's going over to a friend's house, whatever it is, be in that moment. Whatever you have to do, it'll still be there. Do your best. If you have deadlines, do your best to get it done, but you can't take it with you. So give yourself 100% to the next thing. The next thing could be with your friends, with your family, and be 100% there. You'll be so much more productive when you clear out your mind to not have to think about what it is that you still have to do. Don't worry about that. It'll be there. You thinking about it is not going to help it at all. So just be present and enjoy your life, enjoy your people, enjoy the environment, enjoy everything. It's so beautiful. Oh my goodness. So enjoy. If you have all those things clogging your mind and your thoughts, you're not paying attention. You're not focused on what's the right now. And that is so important. That is what people will remember about you the most. It's amazing, when you know someone that has this ultra busy life, but when they're with you, it just seems like they're just with you and there's nothing else going on. And when you hear about all the things that they do have going on, you're like, what? Wow, when we're together, I can't even tell. That's what you want to be. That's how you want to do. And it's just so much lighter. It's so much lighter being that way. And so Vern is saying, I do this with YouTube. I get up in the middle of the night and start updating my page or pages. Vern, that is not what we do. Oh my goodness. And I know it's so tempting. And I know in the beginning, that's what you think is what's necessary. But you know what? Have a little notebook or a little piece of paper on the side of your bed. So, because, sometimes in the middle of the night, those great ideas will come. Jot them down and sleep on it. Don't let that consume your life. You need your rest. And 8, be mindful and present. Absolutely. Yep. Hi, J Luck Blog. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Number 9. So number 9 is keep it professional. Keep it professional. And this goes for if you are starting your own business or if you're just working from home, keep it professional. I'm not saying you have to have on, a skirt with stockings and heels, but at least from the waist up, you need to look presentable. And also don't have your kids with you if you can at all possible. And I know with the kids being at school and everything is really challenging, but this is a time where you're teaching your kids valuable lessons as well, which is, I need you to do this project by yourself for 15 minutes. Now, we started doing that. Our oldest son, when he was born, and I can't remember who told us this, but they said, if your child can sustain themselves, that's one of the most valuable lessons you could ever teach them. So when he was about 2 years old, we started leaving him in his room with a book or toy. He was in a safe environment by himself for 5 minutes. And we would come back and then, join in, and then we would increase it as time went on so that he could get used to entertaining himself. And it has worked out. We did that, of course, with our other 2 as well, but it worked out because a lot of times we would have to take our kids to business meetings. I remember when we purchased our first rental property and the attorney was like, wow, I think this is the youngest babies I've ever seen at a closing. Our newborn was a week old and our center child was 20 months and our son was 3.5. And they were at investment property closing, but they knew how, even the baby, she was fine. But the other 2, they knew how to sustain themselves. And, they weren't climbing up on things. They had their knapsack with their things in it, their toys, their whatever. And that's what they did. So those are things that you can start doing, especially if you have young children and you're like, but how am I gonna do it? You can do it. You can do it. And it's a great lesson for them. And you have no idea if they're in the corner while you're doing what you're doing, you have no idea what they gain from that, what they're gleaning from that. My center child is a junior in college and she's taken the real estate exam. And today she interviewed at a major real estate firm. And I mean, she's still in college, but she's been around real estate her whole life. And I never knew that her interest was to that extent, where she wants to be in real estate investment as well. So you just never know, but you have to teach them. It's almost like manners. So, and it really serves them well because God forbid you may not be with your child always. And you don't want them to be some some little people that people don't typically want to be around because they're just crazy. So, you really want to start teaching them how to sustain themselves as soon as possible. That really, really pays off. So you want to be professional. Being professional is, like I said, your appearance. So if you have a Zoom call, if you're the person that is putting the call together, be a WebEx, Zoom, whatever, GoToMeeting, whatever, have your video up. If you're the host, have your video up. Be prepared. Know that you're getting ready to have this meeting and get into a space where you can conduct it in a professional manner. It is amazing to me when people are the host and they don't have their video on, and maybe everyone else on the call or in the meeting does. And it's like, but why doesn't the host? So, be professional and understand professional etiquette. Okay. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Silas. She said nice information. Thank you. Everyone is saying hello. That's awesome. Okay. So that was number 9. So we're at the last one, number 10. You want to stay organized. Staying organized is so important. I don't know what type of work that you do. So if you are an employee and you work for, say, a firm, I'm thinking about my previous guest a few weeks ago that went from corporate to being an entrepreneur, and she worked for a major, major bank. And, if you work for a large corporation, they'll have a lot of resources for you. You might have an administrator, you have an HR person, you have this person, that person, you have a lot of people that make things happen. And sometimes you don't realize it because you're in your lane and you feeling like, I do a lot with what I do. But when you're doing it yourself, you have to do all those other things until you get your team together. And your team may not be in person. Your team might be a virtual assistant. But until you have that, you have to be organized for yourself. So that might mean having your computer, the things that you work on, you want to have those files set up properly so that when you open up your files, they're not just a bunch of documents. You want to have them sectioned off. It will also mean setting up your email so that you can have your emails in files as well so that you can easily get to them. You want to have things easily accessible to you. I saw Deborah's Glad Tidings in the building. Hello, the Lockhart Perspective. Welcome to the live. Oh, I love seeing everyone here. Thank you. So you want to stay organized. And I'm not saying run out and get a virtual assistant right away because that will be an expense. But in the future, that would be something that you would have as probably one of your short-term goals. Being organized will help once again, even with the IRS and with tax season, because you'll have everything where they need to be. If you don't want to have all this paper or whatever with your receipts, take a moment, if it's the end of a week, if it's the end of a month, and scan those receipts in. Set it on your calendar. Setting things on your calendar is great, not only you can do that for your checklist, but to help make you stay organized. Because if there are things that you have to do in bulk, if you keep putting it off, or if it's not written down, or if it's not alerting you that you have to do it, you may not get to it. And you'll forget, and it'll just continue to accumulate. And you'll look up and it'll be 3 or 4 months later, and you have all this backlog that you have to do. So being organized it also includes calendaring so that you can remind yourself to stay organized. Let's see. I see everyone is still speaking. Yes, I highlighted that, Vern. So those are my 10 tips on Let's Talk Business. Does anyone have any questions for me regarding your business, getting it started, what you should do first, anything? Let me see. Okay, and Rachel's Place is saying, wow, that's what my dad says, write on paper when it comes to you in the middle of the night and take care of the next day so you can rest. Yes. They have really cute little notebooks and things like that. And you could just jot it out and you have it. And you'll just have this great book of ideas. heck, that could even become a book that you could possibly publish. And it's just, you can call it midnight ideas, of things that just come to you in the middle of the night. And it's so much better than having that glow of your phone. No matter how low you might turn your brightness down, it's never low enough in the middle of the night. And then when you see that light, now you're up for real. So, be mindful of those little things. Let's see. All right, I see everyone is saying. I was just going back up to see. Okay. All right, everyone. And so the Lockhart perspective is saying, as a home-based business, what would you say are some pitfalls? So for a home-based business, some pitfalls would be the space, where you are doing your business. Some people, they don't clear a space out until they're actually in the business. I would say clear a space out first so that you will have room to grow. Don't start and then try to elbow your way through. So that could be a pitfall, just not having space, because you will get distracted easily. Another pitfall could be not having that privacy. If you have a house full of people, like right now, we 5 deep in here, with everyone being home. So if you don't have that privacy, you may find yourself being so self-conscious of what's going on around you until you're not focused on the actual work. Another pitfall would be just preparation. Having a mailbox other than your home address set up somewhere, having your business account for your banking set up, having those little things set up first can be a pitfall, because you want to try and have those things done before you get really into it. Another thing is, sometimes people are doing their hobby and it turns into their business, and they really weren't planning for that. But if what you are doing, even as a hobby, if it is in any shape or form could possibly be a business, try to get your mind ready for the fact that this might jump off into a business. And what will that look like? So with a home-based business, sometimes people don't think big enough because they feel like, I'm in my house, I'm not going to be able to grow that big anyway. And so when it does grow big, it becomes overwhelming. And I'm speaking from experience. I had an amazing jewelry business. I did it as a hobby. It was a way for me to release. It was something that God gave me. I went into my closet and prayed about it. And I was just doing it as just a release, a mental release, because I had been doing so many things that was so dynamic. It was blowing my brain apart. Like, oh my goodness, I just need something that I can create and just not even have to really think too much. And my jewelry business blew up. It got so big. It got bigger than I ever imagined. Well, for one reason, because I didn't expect it to be a business. And when it became a business, it was huge. And when you have a huge business, don't just drop it. If it's something that you have to walk away from, try to walk away from it where you can sell pieces of it. I was able to sell my jewelry business I had a consultant. So it grew into a direct sales company. It grew into me doing custom bridal work. It grew into me doing trunk shows. It grew so much from just a hobby, just something that I prayed to God for me to just have peace. And so always know that if you are getting complimented on things, and if you ever decide to make it into a business, think bigger than you can ever imagine, so that you can be prepared for the growth. Because just because it's in your home doesn't mean that it can't grow in leaps and bounds. Let's see. Someone has a question above. Okay, thank you, Vern. Let's see. I need help or information on how to write a business plan. Yes, your business plan is one of the most amazing documents that you could have. It's really your plan. It's how you want to set up your business, how you want to market your business, who is your target audience. You need to have that plan so that it can be your roadmap of how you will do your business. And so I see that you're saying that you need help or information. I'm going to leave my email address and you can contact me, and I can assist you, and we can just do an exploration and see where you're at, do a needs analysis and see what you actually need, what you actually have, and go from there. And, I don't mind giving you additional, more customized tips as well. Or if you want to come with me, then that's fine too. Business plans are great. I typically it depends on the business, but I really like marketing communications plans, because marketing your business is such a huge piece of what you will be doing and what will be part of your plan. So those are called Marcoms, and it gives you, it gives you timetables of how you're going to set up things, when you're going to do things. It helps you with your networking piece, and it just gives you more focus and more direction. So a business plan is very important, no matter what type of business you have. Let's see. J Luck Blog is saying, I have a pad always when I'm in Vern's live stream. She helps also. She keeps us informed. She does. I have a whole notebook. I have a whole notebook of where I keep everything from most lives that I go into, especially Vern's junk closet. And I jot down information, things are so informative, and I really love capturing it so I can go back. Sometimes I have to do the replay, but at any rate, you're right, she does. The Lockhart perspective is saying, with a home-based business, how would you recommend people separate their personal expenses from their business? So the first thing I would say is to definitely have a separate bank account. So you would make your initial investment into your business to open that bank account. And hopefully that will be the only investment you will have to make. So you will make that investment to open that bank account. Whatever comes through for your business, put it into that bank account. Don't have it go to your personal bank account. Don't have what you have personally go into your business bank account either. So you would have to set up a payment scale. You need to see, if you want to make, for instance, my daughter today, when she went to her interview for the real estate office, they asked her, well, how much money do you want to make a year? And she told them, and they said, well, how are you going to do that? And they gave her basically a formula. If you sell one house per month, you will get an average of $9,000. And so by the end of the year, times 12, that's 82,000, or, whatever. So, how much money are you going to be charging for your product or your service? How much money do you need or want? And in what time frame, per month, per week? And if you need that kind of money, how many clients or customers do you need to get that? How much overhead do you have? So how much do you need to get started? How much do you have to invest into your business to start off before you start generating those funds? And then that's where the marketing comes in. How are you going to capture or get your customers and clients so you can make that money that you have just put as your goal, as your projection? So that, and so in that way, you don't have to mingle your personal. A lot of people don't separate the two, and they find themselves dipping all the time into their personal expenses, and they look up and then things are just so intertwined, they just can't even tell the difference. But you have to separate it. You really do. It's important. It's important for tax purposes, and you can really see how it's growing. When you have to purchase your items for your business, use your business account for that. I'm going to have a guest on here to talk about forming your LLC and the importance of your LLC as well, and how your LLC can also be another credit stream for you, which is really helpful in a business too. So I'm seeing the positive pusher. How do I figure out how to monetize what I am doing on YouTube? I have started forming the business, but I need direction. So monetization, that is not me yet. I would definitely say check out Vern's Junk Closet, because she is monetized. And I believe Deborah's Glad Tidings is monetized as well. There's so many great YouTubers, the positive pusher. I hope that you are connected with them. Vern always talks about how to grow your YouTube channel, how to build it. Let me see, the Carter's Eats, Mrs. Carter, she has 2 channels she does as well. Sister Fifi Tyson talks about it. I would definitely say go there. Go to TubeBuddy. They have great information on how to grow your channel for monetization so that you can be prepared. There's a lot of things that I need, and I'm not going to invest in it until I become monetized because I want that business to pay for that. That's going to be that investment. So thank you, Lockhart Perspective, for sharing me. I appreciate you so much. I do. Let's see. It's good to see you, Deborah. Deborah's Glad Tidings. She is a storyteller, and she actually has an amazing book that I received. I'm going to do a review on it. And on her channel, she tells amazing stories that she reads. And so if you are interested, I would definitely highly recommend that you go to her channel. Let's see. Yeah, so the positive pusher, when you talked about figuring out how to monetize, yeah, I would say go to Burns, because it took me a long time. I've been on YouTube for a very long time, but I was just a viewer because I looked at YouTube almost like Google. If I needed some information, I would come to YouTube and, see a video on it, or because especially when my kids were in high school, I didn't know what that math was. So they have people that teaches you what the math is or whatever they are learning in school. So that's what I would use YouTube for. But then when I started looking at content creators and seeing all the information that they were sharing, and maybe once or twice a year, I would do a video regarding workforce development or entrepreneurship, because that's just who I am. That's what I love. That's what I do. And then I started seeing more and more people doing really good on YouTube. So I said, wait, this might be another stream of income. Let me find my voice. Let me see who I am. I didn't want to... It's hard to not conform to what everyone is doing. Not everyone, but what a lot of people are doing that's giving them success. But you know what? It's what's for them is for them, and what's for you is for you. So you have to find your voice. You have to find who you are and what's your comfort zone so that you can have your authentic success. Your success has to look like you. It doesn't have to look like anyone else. And, I guess I'm a tortoise in this race, and that's fine because I'll still get to the finish line. I'm just getting to it a lot slower than most, but that is fine with me because I'm really honoring myself. I'm doing it with integrity, and I really want to give people value when they come to my channel. I want you to walk away and say, I learned something from Coach Sherry today. Wow, that was deep. Or I'm going to implement that right away. When I do workshops, when I do trainings, when I facilitate anything, when I'm trying to skill people up, when I'm trying to make people more self-aware, have them be better for themselves, their family, for the community, I never want to just give them information that goes in one ear and out the other. I don't want people to just sit and look at me like, okay, no, how are you going to implement that? How are you going to make that change? What are you going to do differently? How are you going to incorporate that into your life? That is what's important. What are the action steps? And so that's what I wanted my channel to reflect. And hopefully it is. And I'm hoping that everyone is gleaning a nugget or two from my information that I share. And I know a lot of people with a wealth of information that also are into sharing, because not everyone likes to share what they know. And that's why I have my special guests on Friday nights so that they can come and you can see how people started and where they're at and how they're continually evolving. It's not easy. It's nothing worth having is. So always know that you don't want to give up. A lot of times when people turn away, they were just at the doorknob. That's why for me, it is so hard to let go. When I'm doing something, and if Monique is still in the building, she knows firsthand. When I feel like I'm about to crack the code or I'm right there, I work extra hard because I know if God has given me all these ideas, if he's given me all that push, if he's, allowing me to continuously think even more about something and giving me more ideas, that I must be close. So, just know, even with business, sometimes people get so discouraged and I'm looking at them like, it's only been a year. That's why the IRS gives you 3 to 5 years before you have to really start showing a profit. So that means they're saying you are going to have growing pains. It may not always be the quickest and easiest thing, but stick to it. If you believe in it, if you have clients and customers that believe in it, that need what you're offering, there's going to be more. There's billions of people in the world. And that's the great thing about the internet. It's not just in your community. With my parents' business, well, I can't actually say that because they were able to do things across the world, actually. But a lot of times back in the day before the internet, you couldn't really do that. You had to just pick your customers and clients right where you were at. But now it's such a vast amount of people. So never think that, don't give up, because the people that you're surrounding yourself with are not taking the bait. They're not biting and buying what you have to offer. There's so many more people. Go out there, network, join associations that are affiliated with what you are doing. If you want to go into real estate, they have REIA groups all over the country, REIA, that you can go and network with other realtors, investors, contractors, and hear what they're doing. Go to your city council meetings, listen to what is coming down the pipeline and how you could possibly be part of it. There's so many opportunities out there, but you have to go out. You can't, even though it's a home-based business, you can't just stay in your home. And I know that we basically are in our home. So go online and see what's available virtually and join those virtually. There are virtual meetings going on. Go to Meetup. I think it's meetup.com. And they have meetups all over the country as well, where they have groups of people that get together that have similar interests. It could be business, it could be social, but meet different people, get out of your comfort zone and stay out of your way. Most of the times we are in our own way. And this is probably my last nugget. Let me just see if anyone else said anything. Okay. Oh, you do, Vern. You have a REIA meeting on the 15th? That's awesome. Monique said, yes, you do. Thank you all for being here. Yes, thank you, Vern. Please thumbs up this live. I appreciate you all. So you know how people will say, oh, they didn't do it because, people are so scared of failure. They're scared to fail. Oh, they're not going to do it because it's fail. No, that's not why. People are afraid of success. Because if you succeed, now what? What's next? If you fail, that's what people expected. You know what that feels like. People, that's okay. But if you succeed, now what? So don't be afraid of success. Prepare for success. That's why it's important to plan. What will success look like? What will you do with it? How will you continue to grow with it? What will it do for your life, for your community? How will you continue to grow? Plan for it, prepare for it, expect it. Failure, no one's afraid of failure. That happens. That comes naturally. You don't even have to work for failure, but you have to work for success. Don't be afraid of it. And do it to the best of your ability. And your best is not going to be best enough because no one has arrived. So you will always have to learn. You will always grow. You will always have to network, meet new people, always, until the end. So don't give up. And you know what? Be afraid of that success, but let it push you. Let it propel you. Conquer it. Let's see. In Rachel's place, plan for success. Yes. Plan for it. Really understand what that looks like. It's like when people say, oh, if you want a new vehicle, imagine yourself driving that vehicle. What does it smell like, look like, feel like? What does the steering wheel feel like when you're driving your whatever, hoopty or whatever? Put your hands on that steering wheel and pretend that is that car, that dream car. And then next thing you know, you have it. So intentionally skill yourself up, network yourself up, so serendipity can happen in your life. It's not happenstance. You've been preparing for it, and expect it and receive it with open arms. Over 50 and fantabulous, it is so great to see you. She says, yes, prepare for increase. Great advice. Thank you. Oh, I enjoy her so much. She gave a great word on Sunday, I believe it was. I really enjoy you so much. Oh, everyone, you are all so remarkable. You have done and are going to do great things. Believe it. Don't start and stop. Start and finish. That is the key. You want to finish. And when you finish, you're not done. You're just finished with that, because now you have so much more to give and so much more knowledge and skills that you can just go even bigger. And that's what it's all about. And we all have it in us to do. I hope that you were able to glean a nugget from this video. And if you caught me late, that is fine. You can always hit the replay. If you think someone else needed to hear this, please be sure to share it out. If you're not already part of the team, I invite you to join, because this channel is about workforce development, career readiness, entrepreneurship, and of course, real life, real issues, and real talk. So until we speak again, practice how you play, because when you practice hard, you will play to win. This has been Real Talk with Coach Sherry. And thank you, Vern, for being here, and everyone. Monique, in Rachel's place, over 50 and fantabulous. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.